Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to my quick and easy series of tutorials. This is part 2 of a 4-part series. Today we're going to be learning how to make this pretty macrame bracelet. It features autumn Jasper Pebble beads and they came from the bargain bead box for August of 2023. The name of that collection is Woodland Whimsy. I did show you a glimpse of the contents in part 1 where I made a unikite bracelet. If you haven't seen that tutorial, I'll link it down below in the description section of this video. And if you've never done macrame before, don't worry because I'll show you step by step how to make this bracelet. It's actually pretty easy. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to show you the materials that we're going to be using. Here are the materials for today's project. As you can see, I have some autumn Jasper Pebble beads and they measure approximately around 7 millimeters on the average, I would say. And here I have a leaf charm. It's 18 karat gold plated stainless steel and it measures 19 by 10 millimeters. And actually these two items came from the bargain bead box. And the rest of these are from my stash. I have 2 little metal beads. They measure 4 millimeters in size. And here I have 2 fold-over cord end tips. And they measure 9 millimeters long, including the loop. And I believe they're 3 millimeters wide. I have 3 little jump rings. They're 4 millimeters in size and they're 20 gauge. And here I have a toggle clasp. As you can see, it has a little heart, but you can certainly use just a plain round one. And I think that little heart measures about 11 millimeters, so it's not very big at all. And here I have a charm holder. It measures 6 millimeters across, not including the loop. In addition to these items, we're going to use some nylon cord today. We're going to use this one. This one is 1 millimeters thick and the color is champagne. We're also going to use this one. And this one is actually 0.8 millimeters thick. It's a little bit thinner than the other one. And I'm not sure of the color, but it's very similar to what I just showed you. It's either camel or champagne or something like that. So now that we've gone over the materials, let's go ahead and get started with the project. The first thing we're going to do is set up the nylon cord. I'm actually going to tape this one down to my mat. This is the 0.8 millimeter cord and this piece measures about 12 inches. The other day when I made the unikite bracelet, I wasn't sure if the tape was going to stick to this mat, so I just used this board right here and it just made it really difficult to see because this nylon cord is light colored. So today I'm going to be using my mat and I'm going to be taping the cord to the mat. I think that should work out. And over here I have the 1 millimeter cord. I have 2 36-inch long pieces. Let me put them off to the side for the time being. Before I tape the cord down, I need to prepare the ends. Let me just put this piece of paper down to protect my mat. I actually only have to prepare one end. This is the end that I'm going to thread through the beads. I'm going to use my flush cutters and I'm going to snip off the end at an angle to create a little point, just like this. Now I have something called permalac, which is something that I apply to metals to protect the metals. But I'm going to use this to stiffen up that end a little bit. And if you don't have this, you can use clear nail polish. And I'm simply going to brush it on like this. Sometimes I apply 2 coats, but you do want to let it dry. And if you have some latex gloves or something that you can put on your fingers like this, these are actually hot glue gun covers or protectors. I like to roll it like this to make it a little bit thin. So I'm going to let this dry for a little bit and then we'll come back and start the project. Okay, I'm back and the end of my cord is pretty dry. Let me go ahead and tape it down to my mat. I'm going to use some Scotch tape. And I'm going to place it down at about 5 inches, I would say. 5 inches from the end. Here are my spacer beads. And here are my pebble beads. We need to prepare this charm. I have my charm holder here. And here's a jump ring. It's 4 millimeters in size. Let me go ahead and open up this jump ring. I'm going to slide the loop of the charm into my jump ring. And now let me connect it to the charm holder. And close up the jump ring really well. So this is what we have. And I can't remember if I mentioned it, but there are 8 pebble beads here. Now you can use less or more, it depends on how long you want your bracelet. My bracelet today is going to be about 6.5 inches long, and that's because I have small wrists. So that's something you're going to have to figure out. But let's go ahead and start loading these beads. I'm going to load one of these metal beads first. And now my pebble beads. Now you may have some that have very small holes. You're going to have to search through the ones in your collection to make sure that the cord is going to fit through the holes. And this cord barely fits. So you don't want to use nylon cord that's thicker than 0.8 millimeters. So now that I have 4 on there, I'm going to load the charm. And now I'm going to continue loading the rest of these Jasper beads. And now let me go ahead and load this one, this metal bead. And I think I'm going to move the cord up a little bit so you can see better. Let me get some fresh tape. So now I'm going to tape this end. You want this cord taped at both ends. I'm going to place it at the bottom. You're not going to see it, but it is at the bottom. And here's one of my 36-inch pieces. I'm going to feed it underneath and find the center. Let me bring my ends together. And now I'm going to create a knot. Just a regular overhand knot. And now we're going to do what is called the spiral knot, which is basically half a square knot. I'm going to take the end on the left and create a loop just like that. And now I'm going to take the right cord and go over this cord here, go underneath the center cord, and go underneath this loop here and pull it through. And now we get to tighten it. So once again, I'm going to take the left cord, create a loop, take the right cord, go over this cord here, go underneath the center cord, and go underneath this loop and pull it through. And that's how you do the spiral knot. You always start your loop on the same side of the center cord, whether it's the left side or the right side, depending on your preference. So let me do it again. I'm taking the left cord, creating a loop, taking the right cord, going over this one. And the way I like to do it is to just go underneath this intersection here. It's a little bit easier, I think. And pull. Once again, I'm taking the left cord, creating a loop, taking the right cord, going underneath this whole section, and pull it through. Taking the left cord, taking the right cord, going over this one, going underneath, and pulling it through. If you'll notice, I'm creating a little spiral. That's what happens when you do half a square knot. Just remember to create your loop always on the same side when you're doing this type of knot. Now what happens sometimes when you do this type of knot, the little spiral wants to twist around, and that's okay, you can let it do that. But the other thing that happens is that this cord is going to want to flip over to that side. Sometimes when that happens to me, I go ahead and lift the tape and just let this whole section turn or twist. But it's important that you don't lose track of the cord that you're supposed to start with. And that's all there is to it, guys. It's the same thing over and over. So I'm going to continue doing the spiral knot until I get the length that I want. And for me, I'm thinking maybe 1.5 inches. Like I said before, it depends on how long you want your bracelet. And if I get to the point where I need to lift my tape up and reposition my cord, I'll come back and show you how to do that. So let me keep going and I'll see you in a few moments. Okay, here's a little tip. As you can see, the cord on the left is wanted to flip over to this side. So let me show you what I do. I'm just going to unstick this end, remove the tape, place the tape on this end, because this is the side that I want to start with when I do my next round. And now I'm just going to let it flip. And bring it under like this. This is still the same side as you can see. Remove the tape and re-tape this end. So now the cord is sitting properly and it's not fighting me. So if that happens to you, now you know what to do. So let me go ahead and finish this. Okay, I'm back. As you can see, I completed both ends. Now this end looks longer because it has a knot. We're going to create the same knot on this side. And the other reason it looks different is because I trimmed the ends. But anyway, this measures 5.5 inches from this end to this end, not counting the knot. That's the nice thing about these bracelets. They're very customizable. So let me show you how we're going to do this. The first thing you want to do is tighten up that half square knot. And now let me trim these ends to make it easier. You want the cord to be nice and neat like this, and we're just going to do a regular overhand knot. So I'm taking the ends and I'm going to go through the loop and pull it through. I'm going to use my pliers and I'm going to go in through the loop like this, and I'm going to grab the 3 cords. Let me just do it and then I'll show you. Like this, and pull. You want that knot to be as close to your work as possible. I'm going to pull each one individually. And that should be good enough. It's pretty easy, guys. It couldn't get any easier than that. Now we're going to attach some cord end tips. Here are my cord end tips. And I do want to show you something. If you'll notice, this one has a little prong right there. I'm not sure if you can see that. I don't know if the camera's focusing. Let me see if it can focus. There's a little prong there. And I like to use cord end tips that have prongs because it helps to keep the cord in place and it prevents the cords from sliding out. Now you can place a little dab of glue inside if you want to for extra security. I never do, but you certainly can do that if you want. So let's go ahead and attach them. I'm going to place my cord inside like this. You want that cord end tip to be right up against your knot like this. And now using pliers, I'm going to go ahead and fold over one side. Let me just make sure my cord is in there properly. And now I'm going to flip it around and do this side. And that's all there is to it, guys. Okay, very simple. So now I'm going to get rid of those ends. I'm going to use my flush cutters, and I'm going to come in here as close as I can. Now if you'll notice, there's a little bit of cord sticking out. To get rid of it, I like to use my thread burner. And I'm simply going to melt it down. That should be good enough. So now let me go ahead and attach this one off camera, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've attached both cord end tips, and now we just need to attach the toggle clasp. Let me open up this jump ring. And close it up really well. You don't want any gap at all. And the reason I'm saying that is because the loops of that cord end tip are very skinny or very thin. Let me open up this one now. And here's my finished bracelet. Isn't it adorable? It's so pretty. I love that Jasper. And here it is on. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I hope you like it as well. So here are the 2 bracelets out of the 4 bracelet stack that we're going to be making. This is the first one I made. And like I said, if you missed out on seeing that video, I'll link it down below. So look out for the next 2 coming up real soon. Each one of them is different, and you could definitely wear each one by itself, but you can also wear them together since the colors are all very similar. So anyway, guys, please leave some comments down below and let me know what you thought of today's tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you again. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.